Hello, I'm Jim, and welcome to Rallying in America, the Recce Podcast. This podcast is an exploration of a rich history, the stories and memories of those who made and make Rallying in America so great. Enjoy the show. This week on Rallying in America, the Recce Podcast, I welcome Ryan Symancek. You may know Ryan from such YouTube channels as My Life as a Rallyist and The Drive. He talks about his amazing journey, starting out as a skier, to rolling a Ford Bronco in his yard, to co-driving, and to motorsports media. Ryan learned to be part of so many things, all by mastering the art of asking. Sit back and enjoy. Ryan, thanks for coming on to the podcast. Really appreciate you taking some time and chatting with us today.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and kind of how you grew up and how you got into motorsports.
Yeah. It's a lot. I could give you a full background, but yeah, so I grew up in Pennsylvania, actually, which I know that's
okay.
where you're at, Pocono Mountains. And I grew up with a skiing background, and I grew up with a little bit of acreage. And so I grew up driving to ski races in the winter, doing that kind of stuff with my dad, and then seeing kind of how to drive in the snow, because you had to drive, through blizzards and things to get to races. Seeing that Subarus and Audis are kind of the thing in the ski community, and that kind of crossed paths a little bit with driving. I think if people are kind of like cross-platform athletes, skiing, dirt bikers, things like that, somehow like those kind of more extreme sports or those single kind of like speed sports, people kind of start to see motorsports or see racing, or especially rally as a possible future path, with kind of skiing, and with, again, having that acreage, we would kind of screw around in parking lots after ski practice. You got some snow on the road. You have fun, my dad and I, a couple people, and then I would kind of move that on to literally my backyard, which when I was growing up, so like when I was like 14, my dad had a 2-wheel drive Toyota pickup, and I would just start cutting like rallycross courses in my backyard.
Oh, cool.
And just trying to figure out how to drive it. But but at that point too, I was consuming, like, I was well into rally when I was much younger. So if we rewind the clock, probably 7-8 years old was when I was like, oh, like this is a thing. So we're talking like 1998. And so being actually the first image, so like going way back, so the first image I've ever looked at, where I mean, it's probably 95. I just remember seeing it in a book. It was Safari Kenya, and it was the Celica, the Safari Celica doing a mud crossing.
Oh, very cool.
Kenya. And like that picture, I just remember seeing that when I was super young and being immediately attracted to that. Like, oh, that is what, like, I didn't know what it was at the time, but I was like, that's it. Like, that's the coolest thing in the world, is this Safari Kenya Celica rally car. And so honestly, like really going far back, like books, things like that, like things I was reading, like my mom and dad would like get me little, like, here's, like, I got into airplanes and cars the same way, like through books.
Oh, nice.
And that eventually moved into sim stuff. So so like it was a combination of a bunch of stuff. It was like consuming pictures, it was playing the video games, it was sim racing, and then it was also just like trying to figure out where it was online, like pretty much like dial-up stuff at that point was like, hey, what is the WRC.com and like what are the results from that race.
Oh
And
yeah.
I did the same thing with SCCA Pro Rally. So like I remember SCCA Pro Rally had like a website, and like you like every once in a while, I feel like you refresh the page, like you could kind of like
Yeah.
it was, you know, it was like Pat Richard, like and
Yeah.
Paul Schwanier, it's like people like these names that aren't rallying anymore, but
Right.
those were the top guys, Antoine Lestage. And so like right at that turn of when things started to go from SCCA Pro Rally to what is now, or not anymore, but what was Rally America.
Yeah.
That's when like the graph of my interest went exponential. Like it was
Oh
just
yeah.
like, oh, this is like, oh, it's here. Like Rally America, I think it just did such a great job marketing in like the 2005, 2006. That era was just like, so I was always obsessed with it. And, I was kind of like, I was doing the thing. I was like playing in my backyard with a
Yeah.
two-wheel drive pickup truck. I was drifting. I was crashing into bushes, looking stuff up on dial-up internet of like where is rallying. I didn't have like we didn't grow up having cable, so like I didn't have like speed vision. Like I know like WRC was on
Oh
that,
right. Yeah.
but we didn't have that, so like I couldn't watch it on television. But then finally, somewhere on like early YouTube, like 2006 YouTube, I found the the reruns of what at the time was like ESPN's coverage of Rally America.
Oh right. Okay.
So like I forget who the commentators were there, but I remember one's Bill Wood,
Mm-hmm.
and I just remember his voice. Like Bill Wood had this very distinct voice,
Right.
um, and I remember watching all of them. Like everything that went onto YouTube in 2006, 2007, I was like, this is it. Like these are the top guys. It was Pastrana, it was Block, it was
Yeah.
Andy Tinker, it was Tanner Faust, and they were all in like 06, 07 and STIs,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was super relatable. Because again, going back to the skiing parking lot, like the cool rich kids had like a '07 STI, and you were like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
not the rally car. Like I didn't have that kind of money, but I was like, hey, like that's it. You have the car. Um, so like that was it. Like I was just it kind of like from there, from
Yeah.
2005, 2006, I just started making race courses in my backyard with my neighborhood friends. And like we didn't even have licenses yet. Like I was like I had a
Cool.
Ford Bronco, like a 93 Ford Bronco, OJ Simpson edition Bronco. It was white.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I stuck 5 friends in it, and we would go hot, and and I rolled it. So like
Cool.
we were in we were in my backyard and like racing with my friends. We had to stop watching everything. I had 5 friends in the car. My ex-girlfriend is in the car, and my high school girlfriend. She's in the passenger seat, and I roll it, and we're like, oh, like I was winning, quote unquote winning. I had the
Yeah.
stage time, and then I rolled it, and I think that's when my whole family realized, like, oh, this is just inevitable. Like he's gonna do this. Like
Yeah.
we can't stop him. Um, so yeah, from then on, man, like I just tried to do as much as I can to get into the sport. Like
Yeah.
I did not come from a racing background. My family were both in the ski industry. My parents were both in the ski industry.
Oh okay.
My dad was a soil conservationist, and they looked at me as like, I don't know why he's into this. like, like, who wants to go flat out and through the woods? And to me, like coming from ski racing, coming from this, it was like, oh, this is the next step. This is the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was actually listening to something recently. It was just something. It was like the art of asking, and
Hmm.
I was like, huh, like that's really cool because that is 100% how I moved into like I was in my early 20s, and I had just like moved from literally rolling a Ford Bronco in my backyard
Mm-hmm.
like to like 3 years after that, like I'm working for rally teams, I'm co-driving, I'm traveling, seeing some real stuff.
Nice.
And it was like it was all through that asking process. I think about this now, but like I got to see stuff because I reached out and I said, hey, I want that. I want
Yeah.
to do that. How do I get there? So like through the early 2010s and stuff like that, I like made these huge leaps in like what I got to do and what I got to be a part of. And it was all because of other people.
Yeah.
Like it was all because I just was like, hey, like I'm interested in this thing with a Ford Bronco and a Toyota pickup. I like skiing. I come from like rural Pennsylvania. How do I get to go to Pikes Peak? You know, and it was just
Right.
like oh, you want to come along? Like, yeah, just show up. And
Yeah.
and I had to figure out how to do that. Um,
And that's what's great about the rally community, especially, is they're very welcoming to other people. And if you're interested, hey, come check it out. And they're a super great group of people.
yeah, I mean, this is like I'm going off on an offshoot here, but like
That's okay.
the rally community they're the reason I'm got to do like everybody around me is the reason I got to do so. I had a desire to do it, but you can't do it without the people that are already doing it, or the people that are like, oh, like, okay, come along, like let me show you. I drove the first rally thing I ever did in person, other than going to rallies. Like the first time I went and like helped out, I drove to Vermont from
Oh,
Pennsylvania
wow.
because like, this is pre-Instagram, kind of pre-Facebook, I think, for me. I couldn't figure out. I just found this one guy, Dan Cook. I somehow connected to him, and he had a Datsun 510, and he was in Western Vermont. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to drive there and do it. And like he was open arms, like opening me up to his house, and I helped him out with some video projects. But like, yeah, it's. I mean, it's much more than that. But like,
Yeah.
Everything I did was just asking and hoping that. Oh, excuse me. Asking and hoping people were willing to work with me and fulfill my dreams of
Right.
whatever it is in rallying, whether it's racing or building out a video project or just getting to travel and see events.
Right.
I owe a lot of people a lot of thanks.
So from that rally experience, how did you get into filmmaking and editing? So kind of a natural progression, just.
So back to the skiing thing. So I started like early 2000s, 05, 06, like freestyle ski edits were like the thing, at least in my life. It was just like you'd see these season edits and they would be the music and you're like, yeah, that's sick.
Like a Warren Miller.
Oh, 100%. Right. Yeah. Warren Miller. Like at that time, I was more like Warren Miller is my hero. But that time I was seeing a lot of like urban ski edits, like rail jam stuff. We were trying to replicate that, and I'd have like a handy cam and I'd like film some stuff. But I went to school to be an engineer because at that time I was like, I want to build cars. I want to work in motorsport. And I did my first year and I full on failed out. I was just not even close. And I realized then that I don't have the brain. I don't have the engineering brain. I have the artistic brain. And those two things definitely didn't connect, at least for me. And so when I went to school, I was like, I need to make a transition here. And I decided instead of going for the engineering side of motorsport, I started filming it. So I basically took that school like rental handy cam and I went and upgraded it to the bigger camcorder. And I went to school in New England. I went to school in Maine to college. And I would just try to get to all the rallies and rally crosses, and I would just film them and then make edit and distribute it to YouTube or whatever. And so I was doing that a lot. So I was like, oh, like maybe my major should be theater and film, and I should pivot and go full on into like the production side of this.
Oh, okay.
And then that time too, like this is when Gymkhana, Ken Block, like all that stuff, like pretty new. So like the freestyle skiing side of what I was into was now getting transitioned into cars as well. Like it was just like, oh, sliding a STI is now the coolest thing. So let's film that. So yeah, it was just like that energy back then was so hot for that stuff. So I was like, I need to do production. That's what I want to do. And So I was always trying to like melt them together. I was trying to do videos and make them rally related or make
Okay.
them, you know, somewhat extreme driving related. So I was going to events, but I was also like filming my own stupid stunts, and I was jumping cars in my backyard, filming them. But it was that, like I said, it was hot then. Like everybody was
Yeah.
doing that kind of like stuff. Ken Block led the charge, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay, it's not just stage rally anymore. It's like marketing and stunts." And so I was trying to like ride that wave,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I ended up I had done like a couple years of school with film, and then I was like, I need an internship, and I was looking around, and I at the time I was also helping out my friend William Petro. Bill
Okay.
Petro at Broken Motorsports
Hmm.
during the summer. So I was in New York City. He was at the time he was just outside of New York City, his shop, and his shop is, if you don't know, is like in at least in like New Jersey, New York area is like was like the known Subaru rally car shop.
Oh, okay.
So I was helping him out in the summer, and so I was going to school, and then I was coming back and helping him out, and I was trying to do a video internship as well. So I was looking around in New York City, and I was like, all right, what's around here? And I couldn't find any internships. Like I was applying to things, and it was like fashion, do you like film
Right.
somebody's like nail polish? And I was like, yeah,
Eh,
okay, whatever. I'll try to do that. Like because I was like, I just need something that's in film so I can like further my career in
right.
film. And nobody, I got none of the internships. I didn't get any responses. Nobody got
Wow.
anything back. And then I was watching a random video on YouTube, and it was Chris Harris on cars. It was the Drive Network on YouTube, which
Mm-hmm.
back in those days it was probably 2012. In those days, it was the Drive Network was new, and it was hot and
Mm-hmm.
very, very popular. And I was watching Chris Harris on cars drive an E30 in Wales. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing piece of work here. This is a cool video.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a little research. I was like, where is this Drive network coming from? Like, this seems new and cool. Turned out they're in New York City. So again, like the art of asking, I just like did a bunch of research and was like looking in the credits for names of
Right.
people, and I found one of their directors, Tom, who I just cold emailed and was like, "Hey, I want to do this. Like, this is the things I've done. I've like screwed around with cars. I'm really interested in this. At this point, I was also doing
Yeah.
some rallying. I was driving. Um, I want to be part of Drive." And he literally emailed me back, and he's like, "Can you show up tomorrow at Monticello Motor Club?" And I was like,
Wow.
yeah, like sure." Uh, and I did. I just showed up, and they gave me a camera, and they're like, "Here you go, your C camera today." And luckily, I knew how to use the camera. So
Cool.
I just showed up, started filming. I was filming like it was Chris Harris was there, Monticello Motor Club, Matt Farah, that Alex Roy. There was like all these people that like in that era were like mega stars in the
Yeah.
journalism world, and my eyes were wide open, but I was just filming, like hope I did a good job. And then so I did it all. I sent it back to them, and then they're like, "Hey, like you did a really good job. Like we'd love to like have you be a part of this. We're building this network."
Oh, very nice.
Um, so I basically spent that summer 2012 in New York City with them building the Drive network, doing more of the simple tasks, folding T-shirts and getting people coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And like within a month, because I was young and dumb and I didn't have any nerves yet, I was just like, I want my own show.
We'll be right back. Power up your ride. Daily driver, bike, or track beast with Melee Design Firm. Since 2018, Melee has been the go-to source for high-performance battery mounts and power solutions trusted by enthusiasts and professionals alike. Whether you're carving corners on the weekend, commuting to work, or chasing podiums, they have the gear to keep you powered and ready. Their lightweight universal battery mounts are engineered for performance, crafted with precision, and designed to handle whatever you throw their way. They don't just make and sell parts, they build confidence under the hood. Rugged, industrial, functional. That's the Melee difference. Join thousands of satisfied drivers who refuse to settle for stock. Upgrade your battery game today. Now back to the show.
And like, because at that time, Chris Harris on Cars, which was Chris Harris's show from the UK, he had done a bit of rallying content, but that was it. And that's what got me there. And we weren't doing any more rallying content. And I was like, I want to do it. I want to lead that charge in the US and do like grassroots rallying content.
Awesome.
And my boss at the time, JF Musial, I was sitting in the office with 38th and 8th on Manhattan on like I forget floor, 14th floor, whatever. We're sitting there. It's 7:00 at night. We're working late. And I'm like, I want my own show. And he's just like, okay. And I was like, oh, all right. Like, how do I make it happen? So over the next couple months, we basically drafted up, which was My Life as a Rallyist, which I did 2 seasons of. And it was basically just my journey through zero to hero, more or less. I had virtually nothing. Like, I didn't even have a car. I was a student in college. The benefits I had were all from other people. Like, at the time I was working with Billy Petro. I was now associated with Drive. So I had this network and I just had to like connect the dots. So that ended up with the first season, I built a WRX, a Bug Eye WRX, and also traveled abroad, ended up in New Zealand.
Wow, cool.
Which was a study abroad program. Yeah. And I kind of turned out that New Zealand was rally heaven, which I didn't realize. So the first season of My Life as a Rallyist, for those who have watched it, it's a little bit like all over the place, because like the first couple episodes were just kind of like doing like US Subaru rally things, and then randomly like I'm just ripped out of there and I go down to New Zealand, and all of a sudden it's Lancia and like really cool historic stuff. And then I come back and finish a Subaru and do an SCCA rallycross. The main goal was always to make that car a stage car. It didn't happen. Like the main story arc was like, all right, we're going to do, we're going to start from nothing. You're going to build a Subaru. You're going to figure out a couple things. You're going to do a rallycross, and then you're going to put a cage in it, and you're going to do a stage rally. And that's a season. It didn't really happen that way because of life. But I ended up getting to do like really cool single episodes on things I never ever thought I would get to do. Drive a 037 in New Zealand, which was just like, never thought I would ever do that. So and get like rides in the Lancia Stratos, interview Hayden Paddon. Like, it was just like I was just walking into random stuff by chance, because I was emailing the right people.
Very cool. And I noticed, I watched one of the episodes recently, and you made one Subaru out of 2. That was a very interesting story. How you talked about purchasing a Subaru that may have been wrecked from the rear end, and making sure that things were still good mechanically and so on. I found that very interesting.
That was episode 2, I think, of My Life as a Rallyist, which is almost embarrassing now, because like I literally taught myself how to edit when I was doing that too. So like sometimes I can't even go back and watch those.
Really?
So to me,
didn't faze me, but yeah, I get it. I get it.
I'm like, oh, like look at that haircut, like look at like what am I thinking? At one point, there's a quote in there where I say, I think about this stupid quote so much, I don't even know why. But at one point, I say that the car coming off, the subframe coming off the chassis or of the car, is like a piece of cheese, and I make I'm like, it was like a piece of cheese, and I do this, and I was like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. Like, what the hell was I thinking? But like, no fear back then, no.
Right.
But yeah, so that was what I talked about, that Subaru that we built at Broken Motorsports. I basically bought a crashed car from Copart, and Billy Petro had a clean WRX shell, a bug-eye shell, and we basically, as cheap as possible. I think I paid him $500 for that car, and I think we paid like $1,000 at Copart. So at that time, and we put them together, and for $1,500, I had a very clean bug-eye Impreza, and that was kind of, that car was always the plan for the arc of that show. Obviously we kind of like deferred a little bit, went different ways. But yeah, it's there's I can't even think about how many episodes I have done now. I think there's I think it's 23 episodes between My Life as a Rallyist. There's 2 seasons of My Life as a Rallyist, and then Born a Car.
Okay.
And then which is a separate show. And then there's my most recent show was a 4-episode mini-series for Haggerty, which is called Rad Ventures, which was kind of my last real pinnacle thing. But it literally all started from Billy Petro's shop at Broken Motorsports. So I was legitimately sleeping on the couch, never showered, and just building what we could and filming everything.
That's pretty cool. So you've pretty much done everything. You've done, in one of those episodes I saw that you did some drifting. Yep. And you also do some ice drifting, which I don't think too many people know about.
No.
Ice drifting.
You got to be in the right place for ice drifting.
Right. And you're in Maine now, so is that where you kind of picked it up, in Maine?
Yeah. So, I mean, you said I pretty much did everything. Definitely not the way I feel. Like, I still feel like, man, I haven't done anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's more of a personal, you're always looking for more, or nowadays you always look at social media and you're like, wow, everybody else is doing everything and I've done nothing today and I'm a failure, but
wow.
But like, getting out of, trying to be real about it and just think like, hey, like I need to, I am proud of the stuff I've done, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cut your ear off about it. So I appreciate you saying that. I don't feel that way, but yes, I have done some really cool stuff, and some of those are drifting and ice drifting, and drifting. I started drifting in New Jersey with Billy, my friend Alex Jager, who is now a pro spec FD driver. He's both Alex and Billy are like 2 of the biggest reasons I've done anything in motorsports.
Okay. Cool.
But Alex now is, we used to rally together too. Alex has done a bunch of stage rally.
Oh, okay.
In the 240SX, we had like a more little historic kind of 240SX rear wheel drive car that we've done. We did winter SDPR in one year, which was an absolute blast.
Cool.
But he's a drifter. A lot of people in New Jersey, there's a track, I don't know if you're aware of, Old Bridge Township Raceway Park, which is literally kind of like the East Coast Central for American drifting. Like there was an East and West Coast, basically.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like rapping. It's like when it started, there's the East Coast and the West Coast. The East Coast all started at Raceway Park, which is in Englishtown, New Jersey. Billy's shop, all of my friends, at that point, I was kind of splitting my time between Pennsylvania and Maine. And all of my friends were drifting in New Jersey. So I was there a lot. And at the time when I did My Life as a Rallyist, I borrowed a car from another friend of mine, which was, we called Old 87, which was an old SCCA road race car that was just it was what people then called a drift missile. It was just hit in every corner. It was crooked. You couldn't align this thing properly whatsoever. But it still drove, and everybody got to drive it. So I started drifting in that. I did good amount of events at Club. Sorry, it's called Club Loose, which is the drift the organization.
Okay.
But the track is Raceway Park, and I did a couple seasons in that car, a good amount of events, and I just absolutely love drifting. It's the community. It's like the rally community. It's just it's a little more freestyle. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never competed in drifting. I've just gone out and drifted, and but I love it. I love the people around it.
Yeah.
I've kind of gone that way now, not on purpose. It's just kind of where the people went that I was associated with. So like
Okay.
my friend groups, the people that I was rallying with, we're now all doing Formula Drift, which is kind of weird.
Okay.
But that's where I ended up. I would love to get back more into rally, but yeah, it's a longer process. But yeah,
Right.
so I started with drifting. When I moved to Maine, officially moved back. So I went to school in Maine. I moved
Mm-hmm.
back to pretty much, and then I moved back to Maine. When I moved back to Maine, there's these brothers, and if you're into rallying history, you'll know the Duplessis brothers,
Mm-hmm.
Chris and Forrest Duplessis. So they're from Bethel, Maine. They Chris has run he ran, I don't know, 10, 15 years of rallying, and is one of the fastest drivers I've ever sat with.
Hmm.
And so he's from Bethel, Maine. As soon as I moved back to Maine, at that point, Chris wasn't there. He was working down in New York. But I hit up his brother, Forrest, who has in the past worked for Ken Block. Actually, at that time, he was working for Ken Block. And he
Oh,
was
okay.
kind of he was doing some networking with some other people in the industry. And he hit me up, or sorry, I connected with him, and then he got back to me, and he's like, "Hey man, like you like film and do pictures and stuff. Like, we're going ice drifting today at Team O'Neill, and then off this lake with Ryan Turek and Chris Forsberg, like two
Yeah.
FD drivers. Do you want to be a part of it?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, I do. Where do I go?" So basically, he's like, "We're at this lake. This is the lake that we go on." So it was basically a 2-day thing. We filmed it for Network A. It was with the original Donut Media crew.
Okay.
Um, we basically studded up 2 FD style drift cars and went out and drifted on this lake. And that was, I believe, the first time that I've done some like proper ice driving.
Okay.
Um, and from there on out, every winter, um, a group of friends pretty much congregate and start plowing courses. Like we basically, it's just more a bunch of local Western Mainers
Okay.
that get to, and we basically drill and measure the lakes every winter. And once it starts getting good, which is about 12 inches of ice you need,
Yeah.
we put a plow truck on it. And every year it gets sketchier. Like every year, the
Yeah.
weather, the it's getting warmer.
It
Our
is,
winter
yeah.
is more mild, and it's not so much the temperature as it is the inconsistency of the
Yeah.
ice. So
Right.
if you get a real cold day and then you get like a freeze thaw,
Yeah.
you kind of fracture that ice surface.
Yeah.
So we really had to learn how to read ice and how to figure out what was safe. But within the last, pretty much after that first film shoot with Turek and Forsberg, pretty much every year we've gotten a group together. We plow tracks, and some of
Mm-hmm.
them are multiple miles long tracks,
Oh,
like
wow.
around. Um, and like around the whole like perimeter of a lake, it's like, wow, this is like a 3-minute course,
Yeah.
But I would say in the last couple of years, the rally guys and the drift guys have kind of come together more on the ice now. So it's
Oh, okay.
back 7-8 years ago, it was just like a bunch of Subaru and Audi kids,
Yeah.
and now it's like now it's drift kids, and now we're going out in Nissans, we're going out in rear wheel drive stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to tandem. And it's definitely, to me, it's the highlight of my year, pretty much,
Yeah.
because you can the accessibility up here, as long as you have a good lake and safe ice.
Yeah.
Technically, you have maritime law, so people can't like the cops can't arrest you for doing this. Like you're
Okay.
in the state of Maine, you're allowed to be on the lake on with a motorized vehicle. Um,
Okay.
I'm sure they can bend that law somehow if they really wanted to you know, give us crap for it.
Yeah.
But most people play along, and like we've actually had the town newspaper at one point like made a story about us.
Oh, cool.
Um, but yeah, it's a group of people that basically are maintaining these tracks every year.
Yeah.
I at one point was like a much bigger player than I am now. Last year I showed up for 2 days, I think, and we had a good winter last year. We did 7 or 8 weekends
Okay.
of drive, and people come from all over. I mean, people come from Jersey, people come from, and we house people. People get hotel room, and then you can lap all day. It's the most seat time you can get on a loose surface for literally pretty much free. Like you're not paying anybody an entry fee. It's just like kind of a handshake deal. Like maybe pay the plow guy for the gas money and the risk of putting a plow truck on the ice.
Yeah.
But then you just lap. And, there's more rules now because we've gotten a lot of people that have come. And I say we, again, I'm not like I'm not the biggest player in this. There's bigger people that are in Maine that are doing this. Yeah, I mean, we've gotten a big crowd now. So now there's a little more like heats and kind of like a pit area.
Okay. Yeah.
But like I said, I did 2 weekends last year, and Billy Petro showed up with his 370Z on WRC ice tires.
Oh, very cool.
And he was having so much fun drifting his E350 van with like 8 people in it that he literally just handed me the keys to a 370Z, like his rally car. And he's just like, hey, you can go drive this. And I was like, okay, you don't want to drive your WRC studded 370Z? And he's like, no, I love driving the van. And like, so I was like, okay. So it was just me and this other kid, Noah, and we were just lapping Billy's beautifully prepped safari-esque looking 370Z rally car all day. And I filmed that, and
oh, that's fun.
And yeah, it's just you can't, when you have the right car, you have the right tire.
Yeah.
Like you can't beat the ice. It literally fills my cup. I haven't gotten to do a lot of stage rally recently, but the ice fills my cup in that. Where it's like if I get a good ice day in, I'm like, okay, like I'm still a driver, I guess. I could go out there and wheel. But yeah, I'm very lucky. I've always say I've moved to Maine for snow and seaplanes, which are kind of a separate thing. I'm a big airplane nerd. I guess part of that snow you can add into the category of ice. So I've moved north so I can get this climate, so I can ski and I can drive in the winter. And yeah, I mean, I love this state, and it just so happens to give us really good gravel roads and really good ice.
Well, the ice racing reminds me of growing up is in New England. I grew up in Massachusetts, and all the kids would get together and we would shovel off those ponds to play hockey. And so it's kind of similar to that, but you're grown up and you're driving cars on the ice and not playing hockey, and there are probably fewer fights.
Yeah, no, everybody's a friend pretty much out there for sure. Yeah. No, I haven't seen an ice drift fist fight yet.
I know if they were playing hockey, it would probably be a different story, but yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but we've had some good ones. I have it like on my own YouTube channel. So like a lot of the stuff I've done for YouTube was either on the Drive Network or it's on Haggerty. But I have my own little YouTube channel too, which I haven't done much of in the last 5 years. But I did have like a little mini series I called Rallyist Laps, which was me just driving other people's cars on the ice, basically, because it was the easiest thing to film and do with other people's cars and not risk their car. So there was like a good amount of things where I'm just driving. Like my friend Ben had a white 04 STI on bolted tires, which was pretty crazy.
Bolted, okay.
Yeah.
That's
that was
more
like
aggressive, right? I mean, really
more
aggressive.
aggressive. Yeah, I mean, I can get crazy technically detailed. I don't think it's the best tire. I think it's too aggressive and it doesn't flow very well over the ice. Like it
Okay.
doesn't actually, it kind of grips the wheel really weird, and it doesn't feel, it doesn't have the steering feel that I want and the grip that I want. It kind of grips up weird. Like if you think about having like a crazy treadwear tire on like an autocross course or something, and you go into that course and the car just starts to like shake and like
Oh, right.
gripping too much in weird spots. Bolted tires will do that.
That makes sense.
It feels inconsistent. It has
Mm.
crazy grip, and with an STI, you're flying. But I like a DOT stud. Like I think a DOT stud. We use mostly Nokia and Hakkapeliitas, which
Mm-hmm.
is the DOT studded tire that we like
Yeah.
to use. Those work phenomenally, and they don't throw a ton of studs out. But now people are starting to move up into that WRC ice spike tire, like a Pirelli Scorpion,
Yeah, right.
which is an expensive set,
Oh, I can
um,
imagine.
and they're hard to get. But yeah, I prefer those type. But the bolted tires, a lot of people will do it because you just go to the hardware store and you bolt up a set of tires, and you either you run tubes or you somehow glue them up.
Yeah.
Um, and people go for it, and you know it's the cheap way to get good grip. But yeah, I've driven on the ice in all different tire combos, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's the bolts are the weirdest for sure.
I bet. Well, how does the ice affect the tire? Is it, um, I mean, you're not running them as much as you would, obviously, if it was on your regular rally car, but do those studded tires, do they last long, or because of the studs and that, do they get torn up pretty easily?
Yeah, and you actually, I think you're actually running them more than a rally. Like you
Okay.
actually, I mean, you can clock 100 miles or more a day. Like if your course is
Oh, wow. Okay.
your course is 2 miles long or a mile and a half long, and you're doing
Mm-hmm.
lap and lap and lap and lap, and you're never
Yeah.
stopping. Like I know people that go out there and they'll start driving at 8 a.m. and they won't stop till 8 at night. And like you don't really have heat issues with the tires on the ice. You don't really have
Yeah.
heat temp issues with the car because it's so cold. Um, so if your car is running pretty well, like you end up getting tons of laps. And eventually
Okay.
they do break down. Like you'll start to lose studs, especially if you have a rear wheel drive car. You'll start to lose studs out of the rear pretty quick,
Okay.
uh, and you'll notice it's just like wearing a drift car tire out in the rear. Like you start to realize that your tail's getting a little happy, and you're like, oh, I'm probably losing studs.
Yeah.
But they will last a while. They're obviously a softer compound, so you'll start to see the edges of the tire wear out, just like a normal race car tire.
Okay. All right.
And they'll eat apart. But you can last like I drive more low powered stuff. Like my own cars are very low powered.
Yeah.
So I've run the same DOT set, just 4 tires for multiple seasons.
Okay. Got it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know how they would hold up on the ice. Now, you had mentioned you're a pilot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, kind of.
Single engine Cessna, right?
I have so yeah, I'll rewind it a little bit. So again, going back to sim racing and sim driving. So
Yeah.
I was a sim nerd at 6 years old, and that came from flying. It didn't come from like even car sims even weren't that good. Like flying sims were way better than car sims.
I think Microsoft had a sim, right? That was like
Yep.
one of the best when it first came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad got a tax rebate one day in 1997 or
Uh-huh.
six, and he came home with a software called Sierra Pro Pilot, which
Okay. Yeah.
just he was like, here, like I got you. He got me a fishing game. I got Trophy Bass 2 for him. And he's like, I got myself this flight sim and I'm going to learn how to fly. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I like played the fishing game a little bit and got bored. And then like that flight sim game was just like sitting over there in the box. And I'm like, I'm going to play that. Like I'm more interested in that.
Yeah.
And I loaded it up and I just started like, I just taught myself. I looked at it and I like taught myself everything. Like I looked at
Cool.
the panel, didn't know what anything was doing. Like I literally taught myself everything like over the span of like 3 years. Like I didn't know
Oh, wow.
like I didn't know anything. So I was like turning the engine off and just like dead sticking it into a runway and crashing and But like my mom worked at an airport. She worked at Hartford Brainerd Airport
Oh,
uh,
okay, yeah.
before I was born. So she was into planes. Like she definitely had an interest. She wasn't a pilot.
Hmm.
But growing up, she would take me to airports and look at airplanes. And I have a
Cool.
son. My son is 18 months old. I am definitely accidentally doing that. I've
You
taken him
sure
to
it's
like
accidental?
I've taken him to like 7 fly-ins already. We've
Oh,
gone to
okay, very cool.
huge seaplane fly-ins.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I was a sim like planes were way bigger to me than cars until probably I was like 14, and that started to shift and I started to drive cars in fields.
Hmm.
But I actually, yeah, I started taking lessons when I was 14. So I was a sim kid up and every day I'd get home from school and I'm like, all right, I'm flying. I'm gonna do like I'm gonna fly this route in Alaska. I had a
Yeah.
stack of AOPA pilot magazines in my room that was like, you know, 12 feet tall.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so I was obsessed with it. I would say like again, I didn't come from money. I everything like I worked for it. My parents definitely helped me out.
Hmm. Yeah.
One financial advantage I had was I was an only child and my parents were adventurous. So like if they were like, "Oh, he wants to fly," like, "All right, let's try to get him in that airplane." Right?
Gotcha. Oh,
So
awesome.
I started flying at 14 out of Lehighton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I figured you might be somewhat close there, but
Yep. Not too far.
so I flew a bunch, 14, 15, 16, and I got sold on my 16th birthday, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
Like
that's awesome.
the earliest you can do it.
Yep.
I did that. And then I worked really hard to my instructor also had a multi-engine airplane. And so like at that point in my life, I was 16, 17. I was like, wasn't sure if I wanted to go the airline route or if I just wanted to go to like a normal college.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like kind of doing the airline route. So I got my private, which is a single engine Cessna. I flew a 172 and then a Piper Archer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I went from there, and my instructor was like, I have a, like, we're going to get you into a twin Comanche, which is a twin engine
Yep.
Piper. And you're going to get your multi. And then from your multi, you're going to get your instrument rating.
Okay.
So there was this like progression. So I got my single engine, my multi piston in a twin Comanche, which is a crazy airplane to fly. Like I honestly, I'm 35 now. I cannot believe I was flying a twin Comanche at 18. Like
Oh,
that's just
yeah.
mind-boggling to me now
Right.
because there's like even so much stuff. There's so many systems in the way that
Oh,
wing
right.
flies.
Yeah. I'm more familiar with the Aztec,
Yep,
but
yeah.
yeah, very kind of similar.
The Aztec is the slower version of twin Comanche.
Yeah.
So the twin Comanche, the Aztec has a fatter, more docile wing.
Yeah.
The twin Comanche, I don't know if this is actually true, but what I was told is the twin Comanche wing is modeled off of a P-51 Mustang. So
Oh,
it
okay.
doesn't want to fly slow and doesn't like going slow. So you really need to know your speeds and you need to be on it. And like, I just remember coming into land with that thing and I'm like, oh man, I'm hauling the mail coming into this freaking
Yeah.
runway right now. And it doesn't sink well. Like it doesn't float. So like, it's a complex airplane to fly. I'm very
Yeah.
surprised if my son was trying to fly a twin Comanche at 18, I'd be like, hell no, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Go get yourself something else that is a lot more forgiving because but it was just what my instructor had. But
Okay.
anyway, this is like plain. I know this is a rally podcast. This is plain nerd
Oh,
stuff.
no. This is fun. My late brother was a pilot and mechanic, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I grew
Okay.
up around the airport and
Yep.
everything.
Yeah. I mean, as you could tell, I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, so I got my multi, which I'm very proud of. I actually have a picture over here. It's a, you can, I don't you know this isn't a video podcast, but I have this picture of me with long hair
Oh, wow.
on the twin Comanche
Yeah.
the day I got my multi.
That's awesome.
And then when I moved to Maine, I went to school in Maine. I kind of had it wasn't a real scholarship, but I had I had some help because I was ski racing. So that's why I ended up in Maine. And
Okay.
it just so happened to be a seaplane base right next to my college.
Oh, awesome.
And I was there all the time.
Yeah.
I literally like I had a little car dolly. The guy who ran the airport, like I was like buying cheap Volkswagens and stuff in college, and he's
Mhm.
you can leave that there. And like I had all my kayaks were at the seaplane base. I had all this stuff there.
Oh, that's very cool.
I ended up getting my seaplane license, my rating, right as I graduated college. And well, excuse me, that was the last thing I did in aviation. I pretty much after that had zero money to I hadn't gone the airline route, so it was like I wanted to get the seaplane license because that to me bush flying was like it was the rally racing of motors.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Bush flying was the rallying of flying. It was like, the in the woods, like it was just I was attracted to those things immediately.
It's that short takeoff and landing. That's crazy.
Yeah, I grew up like, in the outdoors, always outside. So rallying was the motorsport I wanted to be a part of, and flying a de Havilland Beaver in Alaska was the flying I wanted to do.
That's the plane to have, yeah.
So when I went, when I was like looking at the airline route too, I was like, I have no interest in like flying Embraer jet and living my life in a terminal.
Right.
That's no discredit to the people that do that. Like that, that is a very cool life. It just wasn't the life I wanted to do. I wanted to fly straight floats in the middle of nowhere. So I got the rating, but then I didn't do it.
Yeah.
but maybe someday.
Well, back to the ice. I know on Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire, they have an airport out on the ice. You ever land on that? Or
I have not. I actually saw somebody biffed it pretty hard last year and crashed.
Oh, really?
There. Yeah. Every year somebody screws up that landing.
Oh no.
There's actually a Cessna 180 that came very close to bending a wing.
Oh wow.
Trying to land, but then somebody else, I forget what it was, they hit the snow before the ice and like collapsed the gear and just landed onto the ice. I have not done that. I haven't been there. I would love to go see it, but
I've seen the Cub, mainly a lot of Piper Cubs. Yeah. I think if I remember, the smaller planes coming in, landing there, and taking off. And then what scared me, just totally unrelated, but ice fishing at Winnipesaukee.
Yep.
And you start feeling the ice rumble.
Oh yeah.
And you look over and you hear this noise, and you see this full size like DOT dump truck cutting across one of the bays. On the ice, and I'm like, holy cow, how does that not just go right through? But the ice, in that section is like 4 feet thick, 3-4 feet thick. So,
yeah, this is like the things I learned with my friends up north here that have been measuring and figuring out what's safe.
Yeah,
like the crackling of is a thing. You hear it in the car. It's wild, and you have to like mentally kind of like get yourself out of that mindset.
Yeah.
But the other thing that people don't realize or they don't think about with ice is when you're driving on the ice, you're driving in a wake. So like you still have like a boat wake underneath that plate.
It's just kind of reversed in a way.
Yeah, so it's
inverted.
It's going to flex. Like that plate is still going to flex, and it's still going to create a wake.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So people don't realize that, and they go out and they're like, oh yeah, it's 8 inches thick, right? And it's like, okay, but if you add speed to that, right, now you're adding more wake under the plate. So you have more chance of fracturing that plate. People don't realize that. So it's like if you have a dump truck, right, the guy's going slow, like you've got weight. Dump trucks are, ungodly thousands of pounds.
Right.
He's moving along. He's creating a consistent wake.
Yeah.
So now if you're adding, say you're doing a 2-car tandem on a drift, you're close together. So now you're talking 6,000 pounds because you've got 2 cars and you're going 40. So you're creating a bigger wake. So there's a lot to think about. I think that people don't realize when they're going out and ice drifting. You don't want to be drifting like some people I've seen drifting on rivers. It's super sketchy. You've got moving water.
Oh, that would scare me. Yeah.
But you really got to think about that wake and how you're fracturing the plate. And I think I say 12 inches is like the minimum I really want to be on. Yeah. I've done less, and I've heard a lot of crackling, and it's definitely freaked me out. But anyway, there's a lot to it. And And actually, I'll say a little more. I
Yeah.
know that at some point I can go on and talk for hours and hours,
Oh,
but
this is fun. Yeah.
and I'm more than happy to. But there's another thing. This is my ultimate goal. I don't have any funding to do this. I haven't even tried.
Yeah.
My ultimate goal is to get away from the lake because this is eventually we are going to lose out. Like we eventually the ice will never be thick enough.
Right.
We have to keep moving north, which is fine. I'm happy to move north
Yeah.
and I'm happy to get consistent winter. But the way to do it, and there's a school in Steamboat Springs that does this, and they basically flood a field, right? So you basically
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you build a track and you use a water truck and you flood the field. So you actually get elevation change and then you can maintain it a lot easier and you don't have the risk of losing a car and potentially losing someone to falling through.
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense.
So like right now we're kind of like in Maine, like up north, like we're still within the safe zone.
Yeah.
But eventually, if I could find land where I can flood a decent sized field and give someone a mile long track of like undulating corners, then that's where I want to be. It's a lot easier to maintain. There's way less risk involved. And those are the kind of days where I really want to invite everybody and be like, all right, let's go. Like this is safe. Nobody's gonna we don't have crazy risk here. Yep. And I know I can give you a good surface because I can maintain it. Yeah. And if you do something like that, you can go November to April here almost and do that.
Yeah, right.
And you can't do that now. Like we get a couple weekends a year midwinter on a lake, but you know, as long as it's freezing at nighttime, you can keep that course maintained.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will say that this wasn't my friend Danny, one of my best friends ever, kind of was like the one that was like, hey, this is where it's at, and I have taken that and definitely have promoted it. But at some point, maybe Danny and I will find a property, or someone will find a property where. That's the other thing. People come from like New Jersey and stuff, and then they like every week they'll call on a Friday and it's like, how's the ice? And it's like,
oh yeah, right.
Honestly, we don't know until you're there. Like you never really know. So it's hard to like tell these people who are driving 8-9 hours, like they drive up here and we're like, oh sorry, like it rained last night and now you're screwed. So having something that's way safer and way maintained, I think, is the future in ice driving. It would be a huge goal of mine to figure out how to do it.
That's a lot of fun. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And what is your YouTube?
We barely even talk about stage rally.
That's okay. This is a lot of fun. But you've had an amazing career so far, I think. If somebody wants to check out your YouTube videos, where do they go?
Well, honestly, my website's probably the best to find out where they all are at.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
I've done a couple shows. I've done My Life as a Rallyist and a show Born a Car, which is about an E30 BMW that we kind of did many different things with.
Yeah.
And that's on the Drive Network on YouTube. Then I have a show called Rad Ventures, which is a 4-episode series on Haggerty's YouTube channel. It's about 80s, 90s kind of icons.
Okay.
It was actually the only reason that show exists is I actually filled a slot for Magnus Walker, which is pretty crazy. Like,
cool.
So the only reason that worked is because it was COVID era. Magnus can only do 6 episodes and they needed to fill a slot of 10. And they looked at me and they're like, hey, Ryan can do like all of this. Like, because I edit all the episodes too. So like,
oh wow. Okay.
I got a small team together and I did, I filmed it all with a small team. Chris Duplessis was actually one of the people. And then, Chris Chapala, who is my DP for that. And then I went and edited it all. So I ended up like, compared to Magnus Walker, I am a full-on nobody. So that was just like absolutely wild to be like, right. Magnus Walker's show came out on Haggerty. Jason Kamisa and Ryan Symancek. Like it was just like, what the hell? Like, I mean, yeah, it was wild. I'm super super proud of Rad Ventures. It was kind of it was a different kind of you know avenue for me. It
Yeah.
was they kind of designed what we wanted to do. I picked the cars, and it was a whole thanks to Chris Duplessis and Chris Chapala, really, that gave me the access to Monticello Motor Club.
Okay.
Um,
Very
at the
cool.
time, I was doing some driving instruction there as well. So we filmed most everything at Monticello Motor Club and at Englishtown, the drift track. Um, and it's just like when I filmed that, it was like this is the best I can do. Like it was like we pulled out as many stops as I could for
Uh-huh.
what allowed, and it's like with the cameras, with the editing work, it's like this is it. Um, I was really hoping that that would somehow lead into a season 2 or something.
Yeah.
It hasn't yet, but been a lot. I've been less good at asking lately as I've grown up. But so yeah, I've got that. That's on Haggerty, and then I do have my YouTube channel, which is just Ryan Symancek is my name. There's
Mm-hmm.
some random small stuff on there. I'm
Okay.
on Instagram at Ryan Symancek. Um, yeah, that's it, man. Like um, I own 2 rally cars now, which is insane.
Oh, cool.
I have an E30 and a Mark III Golf, which are both logbook aged cars. Um,
Oh, very nice.
both came to me pretty randomly in different ways. One of them will get done soon, and hopefully, you know, like right now, I said I have a young son, so
Yeah.
he's the focus. But one of them I mean, it just has to happen, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm still so obsessed with the sport. Like I feel like I've lost the community a little bit, and like I just haven't been getting to events like I've wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, but I got to get back to it. Like we have such good like the Team O'Neill gravel trials is just like the accessibility of those roads and the Sports Car Club of New Hampshire that's putting it on. Like
Yeah.
that's like that's the best you get. I mean, that's
Right.
literally powder skiing for rally drivers. It's the best roads. It's the cheapest entry fee. It's a great organization. All the people up there, all the club here in New England, all those drivers, they're really committed grassroots people
Yeah.
doing really cool stuff with those roads. So
Well, will we
yeah.
see you at the climb to the clouds, the Mount Washington hill climb
Oh boy.
next year? What, in August?
There's I mean, I have to be there
Yeah.
at some level. I do. So my E30 I have right now is a logbooked E30. It's actually the car that um, I shot the show Born a Car for.
Okay.
I I basically lost it for 7 years, um,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was owned by the company that I did the show for. It disappeared. It did a couple endurance races. It became an
Mm-hmm.
endurance car and disappeared. Um, and I randomly hit up my boss, the art of asking again. I randomly hit
Yeah,
him
there
up.
you go.
I'm like, whatever happened to that car? And he was like, it's still at my mom's house. And I was like, what? It's still there? And he texted me, this was 2 years ago, or a year and a
Mm-hmm.
half. And he's like, I'll sell it to you for $1. And I was like, are you joking? Like, dude, I'm like, and like I've done like this is like JF, he was my old boss, a good
Oh,
friend of mine.
yeah.
He was doing me a solid. And he was just like, I want to give you this car. And
That's awesome.
I already had it. Like, so I already have, I bought David Baker's Mark III TDI rally car that I'm piecing together and trying to finish.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I already had a rally car. But then JF was like, I'm going to give you back the car that you basically built with Broken Motorsports.
Yeah.
You can have it. And I couldn't pass that up. So basically
That's awesome.
I have an E30 logbooked car. And right
Mm-hmm.
now it's set up basically with an E30 cup kit on 200 treadwear tires, Bilsteins, full cage. So
Nice.
what I'm saying is it's tarmac hill climb ready, pretty much.
Nice.
Whether or not I can find the funds or even get in to do the climb to the clouds,
Yeah.
be um, would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I actually did. I've done that race before. So I was a co-driver in 2014
Oh, nice.
in Hill Climb. I did it with Billy Petro, and that was actually completely by accident. So I went there as a crew guy,
Uh-huh.
and Billy's co-driver at the time, Jeremy Neihart, got sick, and we
Okay.
were standing around, and I had done some co-driving, and Billy's like, "Do you want to jump in the car?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I actually took Jeremy's helmet and fire suit, and we went up. We went up Mount Washington, and I was writing notes. Like Jeremy had written some notes, and I rewrote a bunch of stuff. And I went from literally just thinking I was going to show up with some Dickies on and just wrench on Billy's car.
Right.
Okay, now I'm doing the hill climb, and I'm like, dude, we're gonna win this. Like, I'm gonna make you freaking like I'm calling fives as sixes. Like we're like, but they're like, this is flat, and you know that you do multiple passes up the
Yeah.
mountain. And so you know the first couple passes, I'm like, all right, like I'm like secretly changing stuff here. Like I like you know here's the left four. I'm like 4+, you know, and then like the next section. And I'm like, we could push here, we could push there. So like, you know, I sat right seat completely by accident. I had done a couple stage rallies previously to that, but the hill climb tarmac, the speed of the tarmac was definitely new. But we ended up at that point, there was still a rally class, so you could still.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Had to have a rally car, you had to have a logbook rally car, and you had to have a co-driver. So we won two-wheel drive rally class for that year, and I don't think it was beaten until like 2020. But it was a 240SX stage rally car with a SR20 turbo motor, and we did it in 7 minutes and 9 seconds.
Wow. Okay, nice.
We beat ACP that year in like the Ford factory car, and I was like, that was cool. We showed up and showed off on that one. But that was still partially dirt then, which was really cool. And yeah, so like we were flying, we were committed to the nose. I just remember pushing Billy so hard through that because like when you do pass after pass, you're like, all right, like I'm feeling good here. Like, dude, flat. I'm like, go, 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 go. All right, left four, go, go up the hill. Like I was like cheering him on. And then like at that point, like Pastrana at that point was going for the record. Like the helicopter was flying alongside you. Like you're going mountain, and the helicopter is lower than you. You know, it's like they're like literally on you. It's like, dude, you'll never ever forget that. Like
That's
that
impressive. Yeah.
Incredible. So to rewind a little bit and to go back and say, okay, like, yeah, Mount Washington's happening again. Like every year, you never know when it's going to happen. Now it's like every year, every 4, every 5. Like all I've ever wanted to be was a driver. Like that was it. I did a lot of co-driving, but like that was because that was accessible and I couldn't pay my way. But yeah, man, to get to be able to do an event like that would be, I mean, it would be a lifelong accomplishment. Like
very cool.
Yeah, it's but and saying I have like the car's practically ready. Like a new set of tires, a couple things, it would be ready for like a tarmac hill climb.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I maybe I should start raising some funds, but I don't know. Yeah, I would love to do it.
Yeah, it'd be fun. At least it'd be good to see you if, because I'm planning on going, and it'd be good to see it even if you're just spectating. So.
Oh yeah, no, we'll figure out a way. I mean, you like I said, it barely like you never know what's going to happen now. So like, it's become a much bolder thing on the calendar where it's like Mount Washington's actually happening. Like Mount Washington, and like you know, I've been throwing my son at a bunch of fly-ins, and he's been to a few autocrosses with me. But you know, to be able to like put him in a little hiking backpack and hike up the mountain with him and like see, you know, some serious speed on some of these like stuff,
that'd be a blast. I think.
Have you been up Mount Washington before?
I have. Yeah, it's been a long time though. I was probably not even a teenager because when we lived in Massachusetts, we would go to Rangeley Lakes area in Maine for vacation for a couple weeks every year. I even went there for my honeymoon.
Nice.
But yeah, we took a trip out Mount Washington, and we do the Old Man in the Mountain and all that kind of stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that road. I've been to Pikes Peak. I went to Pikes Peak as a spectator in 2011. Um,
Hmm.
Now Pikes Peak, there was still gravel at Pikes Peak at that point, a little bit of it.
Oh right, yeah.
But Pikes Peak is now wider. It's a very
Yeah,
different.
all paved. Yeah, it's different.
Mount Washington is a different animal. It's straight up, like in some sections is like straight up Irish tarmac. Like the car is just bouncing and skipping, jumping and hitting stuff. Like it is a brutal hill.
Is
And
it?
yeah, it's just they're not like Pikes Peak and Mount Washington, in my opinion, not really comparable hill climbs. They're very different type of hill climb, and I'm so glad we have it. Like I'm so glad Mount Washington Auto Road is willing to do that. Like
Yeah. I wonder if Pastrana and Vermont Sports Car will be back. It'd be interesting to see.
don't know. I don't know if I can reveal this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So I know that I could possibly reveal this because Chris Duplessis posted it on his story. So Chris, if you're listening to this, you posted it on your story. I questioned you about it, and you told me it was legit. So Chris Duplessis' mom, Carol, has done the hill climb in different forms. So
Okay.
like hill climb, and she might have run it. He posted on his story that she is gonna race the hill climb in 2026 in his AE86 rally car, which is wild to me because
that's gonna be fun to watch.
so Chris is racing a cross cart, and I used to instruct with him in cross carts, and cross cart is the coolest thing ever. But I know he's racing a cross cart, and I believe his mom Carol, unless he's pulling my leg here, is going to race Pikes Peak and is entered or is ready to go in an AE86 Corolla with a Beams motor in it, so it revs to the sky.
Wow.
And she's never raced before. She has like a Chevy Aveo,
Oh wow.
flower business. Like it's just to me, it's a very cool story. I kind of had to text him and confirm this, and he was like, "Yep, like it's going to be a great story," and I agree. I mean, that is just going to be wild. Like to say that you've biked it, I think she's run it, and now have motorsport raced it.
Wow.
Is a pretty wild thing to do. And I don't know how old she is, but late 60s or 70s. So
yeah, that'd be fun to have her on and talk to her about it afterwards.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe have Chris on too. So
you need to talk to Chris. Like, I know that you like your other page too is like historic rallying.
Yeah,
and kind of preserving rally history.
Yeah,
I mean, both Petro and Duplessis. Those are especially those names are, at least early mid 2000s. Like, I mean, geez, Duplessis was beating people in a Mark II Golf that fairly stock. Like he's the real deal, and he's done WRC. There's a lot I'm sure that he could share, but it's cool to have been slightly a part of it in some ways, and
awesome.
So yeah, man. Awesome. Thanks for letting me chat.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Very interesting. I had a lot of fun, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll see how things go, and maybe we'll see it about Washington. So
yeah, and definitely let me know if you happen to be in the New England area. I'd love to see New England come back. I mean, New England was my home event, and I know that there was an organization trying to get it to happen. I would love to help in some way if I wasn't completely booked out with work and child. But it's I mean, that's the other. I've got my logbook rally cars sitting there. They need to get finished. One needs to get finished, but rally sprints, gravel trial, and NEFR are the goal.
Cool.
Be able to do New England as a driver would be super awesome.
Well, I have my brother and my mom live in New Hampshire. Another brother that lives in Massachusetts still, but so I plan on coming up, and I got a lot of family in Vermont, and my brother who lives in New Hampshire has a place I think near Old Orchard Beach now, and So,
Oh yeah.
So I'll be up.
Yeah,
So,
I live in Portland, so we're right up the road here.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Thanks again, and have a good weekend. If you'd like to be on the podcast, you can email me, jim@jimboothdesigns.com, or message me through Facebook at Rallying in America, the Recce Podcast, or Instagram, rallying_in_America. Special thanks to Brady Instruments, pro-grade, handmade, professional fuel hydrometers. Visit bradyinstruments.com for all of your fuel testing needs. Thanks to Toontank and the artist Nuclear Wave for the podcast theme music.